wherever the team puts me, I want to make sure I'm prepared for it. Try and hit every single ball for a 6 and a 4. My dad always told me, you don't need to muscle it, making sure we do what it takes to make the team win.
Joining us is someone who a lot of our teammates called the heartbeat of the Indian cricket team. Jemimah Rodrigues, they were evolving the Indian cricket. Good to be chatting with you again.
Thank you.
Anderson, Red Bull, I was told it's like a rich line of cricketers have done it in the past, the likes of Ben Stokes and KL Rahul. Proud of sort of reaching out to big fan base?
Yeah, 100%. Honestly, from a very long time, I always thought when I saw actually Smriti with Red Bull, I thought maybe one day that'll be me, because there are very few athletes who actually get to be a part of Red Bull, and I'm so glad to be a part of this family.
Wonderful. You just fresh off a camp and preparing for the big World Cup. How's it done? Just the thoughts of a home World Cup and just gearing up for it.
Yeah, I think I'm really excited for this World Cup. I think it's going to be very special for us because it's at home. So preps are going well. Girls are working really hard. We have our plans in place. We have our preparation in place. So just waiting for the big day, and hopefully things fall into place.
You've been around for a while, but this is your first ODI right? So in that sense, it's even more special. I mean, I think you missed out in 2017. You were sort of too young, still sort of knocking in the door, but missed out on that one. So in that sense, special.
Yeah, so it is my first ODI World Cup. I'm looking forward to it. It's been a long wait, and played 4 T20 World Cups. So used to the World Cup pressure, but I know this is going to be a little bit different to the T20s. But yeah, I think I'm ready for it.
It's interesting because this ODI World Cup's got its own space in the women's calendar, right? I mean, we see in men's where there is a lot of Test cricket, so ODI and T20 cricket's obviously prominently played. That in the one-day game, because you play fewer Test matches, this is kind of a showpiece event. Happens every 4 years, a little bit like the Football World Cup happens once in 4 years. Yeah. So it's got its own space, right? To this event.
Yeah, it has its own space, and I think that's why it's even more precious, because you have to wait a long time for it to come again. And I know in the past we've been very close, especially the 2017 World Cup. I think we were so close. So I think this is the time where we can make things right and hopefully hold that trophy over there.
You personally, just sort of trying to upskill yourself. Tell us a little bit about how that process has been like, because the last couple of years have been really good for you since you sort of made your own space in middle order. From the time you were told that this is your position, and then to try to make it your own and to make it a successful one. Tell us a little bit about that process.
For me, it was all about wherever the team puts me, I want to make sure I'm prepared for it. So I think the first change that happened for me was my preparation. I started making it really difficult for me in my preparation. I started working, I used to work hard, but I started working differently in the sense stepping out of my comfort zone. Batting on difficult pitches, playing against different kind of bowlers, sometimes even using different kind of balls which move or more, which skid more, different surfaces. So I think that gave me a lot of confidence coming in. And talking about middle order, I think it was a mindset change. Because at number 3 or opening, which I have always done from childhood. I think that is something I was very comfortable doing. But if the team required me to bat in the middle order, I was like, I need to be up for it. So it was a mindset change, because it started in the T20s first. So I was like, I'd have to go and be a finisher. Maybe one ball, or maybe I'll be 10 runs are over from the time I walk in. Yeah. I should be prepared. Yeah. So I think that I started doing in the nets. I said, I'm going to attack every single ball. Try and hit every single ball for a 6 and a 4. Which is impossible. But I know I can figure out a way and work myself through and smartly get my runs done. So I think that mindset change of just going after it gave me a confidence where I left in and play a few innings where I also didn't know I could get going from the first ball. First I should take a few balls, then accelerate. But right from the ball 1, I was like on it, and I think that mindset change has really helped me.
And on a technical front as well, it takes some effort. I mean, the days that you're going to walk in in the 20th over mark, the other days when you might walk in at 35, 40 over mark, fewer runs to it, more runs to it and fewer balls to it. So on that front, sort of the upskilling that you're trying to do in a T20 game, and then to play this slightly different game in a one-day format, how does that pan out? Yeah,
honestly, the transition took me a bit of a time, because I'm playing more than 110 T20s, and ODIs, I was at around 28 at that time. So that transition really took me some time, but the thing about middle order is we don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
I feel it's a toughish situation because at times, like you said, you have to walk in the power play. At times, you walk in the 15th over and you have so many overs left. At times, you have to walk in the last 9 overs and be a finisher. So I think for me, it is more about putting myself in those situations in the nets and preparing mentally. And now I think, I'm more prepared and used to what's going to happen. And I think that's helped me and giving me a lot of confidence.
You play, we're just talking about trying to improve your T20 game. You've spoken at length in the past about it. I mean, you play hockey as well, I know. So I was just looking you having a go at the challenges as well, try switches as well. When does that come in handy?
It does a lot. I think a lot of my wrist work, I'm very wristy.
Yeah.
So a lot of my wrist work comes from these shots, the scoops and all. So usually I used to stand, I was a right. I used to stand next to the goal for somebody used to hit the ball from there, I had to deflect it in.
Yeah.
So now I try and use the same technique to deflect the ball over the fielder's head.
Yeah.
And that's how I get my run. But it's nice, and another sport could help you in the sport you're playing right now. That's innovation, I think.
But how big a part of the game is it now to be able to be, as much of a 360-degree player as you can be?
So for me, the thing was my dad always told me that you don't need to muscle it, because for me to muscle every ball with my structure was kind of hard. But he said if you can be smart enough, you can get the same amount of runs.
Yeah.
So I think it was some way to figure out those things, and since I'm so agile and I move well with move around well in the crease, I said why not try these gaps where usually the fielders are up. And the thing about women's cricket is you can only have 4 outside.
Sure.
So I can always target at one fielder which is inside.
Yeah.
And get my runs. So I think that it was just about exploring how I can get my runs faster, get a good strike rate, and it kind of suited me.
And that's just to say that, because you look at someone like Haiman, who's one of the finest ball strikers we have, and you need to find their own way, right?
Yep.
To do that, and this is something that you're leading.
Yeah, that's true. I think when I was younger, I'm still young, but when I was younger and I came in, it was something I had a challenge, because coming in, the women's T20 challenge is going on, I remember, and I'm seeing everyone coming in, whacking every ball out of the park, and it's T20, Sophie Devine, Harmanpreet Kaur, Smriti for that reason. Everyone's hitting, and then suddenly I got to play that day.
Yeah.
And when I did that, I failed horribly. But then when I stepped back and I realized that, being a Jemimah Rodrigues, I can get the same amount of runs, but in my way. I think when that realization came, it just made me feel, okay, you can do that, but I can get it in a different way and be as effective to make sure the team wins. And I think that really helped me.
On an average day, you'd like to tell us what's a pre-match routine like?
My pre-match routine. Okay, so pre-match routine is easy. I wake up, depends when the match is, wake up, have breakfast. I like praying before a game, so I have that some quiet time for myself. Then I think nothing much. I go in the bus, I'll listen to some music or something like that. Walk in, but I think before walking in, always, I like to get that kick when I walk in here. And I think Red Bull really helps me with that. You should try it sometimes. You just take few sips, go and you feel like you're actually flying. So yeah, I think that helps me.
And you'd always have a guitar by your side on tours, right?
On tour always, yeah. On tour always. It's a nice way to bring the team together too, especially in the bus. And it's also my way of switching off.
And does this free-spirited personality of yours help your cricket as well? And in that sense, because obviously then it's spirit now, fairly intense sport.
Yep. It does help. And also my coach, Prashant sir, my dad's also my coach, but Prashant sir always told me that just the way you are off field, it should reflect on field. Like off field, I'm always up to something or the other. That same energy should carry in the field. Like I shouldn't just play a tech that, however, the same day they just proper old school or not old school, but just the textbook shot.
Yeah.
Like be yourself on the field. And I think that really helped me. And I'll say, to switch off, it is good because you need it. It gets too intense sometimes.
Winding up, last couple of questions on the Berry Cup. Visualized going all the way, lifting the trophy, then the final is going to be in Navi Mumbai.
Yeah, quite a few times. And Navi Mumbai has been special for me and also special for the Indian team. Kind of had some historic moments there. So really looking forward to it and can't wait for that.
And just being on the road as well, like around the year, the way the format is, of being at all different venues, the newer venues this time, Guwahati, Vizag as well, has been the part of embracing the crowd rather than sort of feeling the pressure.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. I think for us, it's more than playing for the expectation of the crowd, making sure we do what it takes to make the team win. And once we do that, I think that will be taken care of. The crowd will be happy. And we know no matter what, they're always here to cheer and support us. And I think the energy, I love that energy. That gets me going. And I just want to carry forth that into the game.
Allow me to ask you about your fielding. I mean, I know there are sort of leaders in every sense and every format. You sort of the leader of the fielding pack, is it?
Yeah, if you can say that, because it is my role when I'm on the field. So Haridi and Bali sir has given me that role. One is I have to make sure the right fielders are at the right positions and the angles are right along with Richa. And the second thing is I love leading from front.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of energy and I carry forth that energy in my fielding. So I just make sure that whoever's around me, you can lift them up, and that's what a sport is all about. There are days where they lift me up. So if I have something, why not use it for the team?
Fantastic. So keep leading. Hopefully your visualization of the World Cup comes true as well, and we're all looking forward to that.
Thank you.
Thanks so much
Thank
for that.
Thank you.